Okay, back again. After a break, honestly. I had to take a break. I kind of felt like I was going crazy.
Stanley decided
like actually
to go to the
crazy.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So I looked up a few things.
Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I looked up a few things while we were away, and I knew I was missing endings that were not just part of the branches of the left and right door. And this was one of them. You have to run into that chair for a while, and then you can get up here, and then you can do this. So yeah, I did have to look this one up, but I don't think I would have guessed that ever. Whee!
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Yeah,
Why
I wish I
don't we
could
take a minute just to drink it all in?
Further away.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Oh, I get... well...
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop?
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gap takes some time.
Damn it!
What if the other option is even longer?
He's
How
right!
long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you
oh my god, it just goes on and on.
Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
So he's not joking. I really am going to sit here and these don't do anything anymore, and now I have to go back and find out. And you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go find out.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
That was easier.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
It was easier. So I was letting my dad play this game because I was curious what his reaction as a non-gamer would be. And interestingly enough, he got me an achievement by pressing spacebar multiple times, trying to jump. And there's an achievement called You Can't Jump. And he found that out for me. I didn't try to jump.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
Okay, so now we finally get to find out, and...
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Ooh.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly.
Okay.
But the truth
manly rhymes with
must be
Stanley.
told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly.
So he's gonna sing me
Stanley
limericks?
liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable, and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong, and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yeah. You too will become quite unbearable.
Oh my god, that's so cute. And then maybe just the music plays forever. And the question is, how long do I wait? Okay, let's try something else.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so I got outside of the game. I've done a frightening number of endings over here, yet
doors, he entered the door on his left.
there's still one more. Even though all the doors always close behind you, apparently there's a little trick that you can do here, which I'm going to attempt to do right now. I'm scared.
Stepping.
Okay. So you can trick these doors into closing. And then I guess all the doors that were behind you open. So you can go all the way back. And I've been looking forward to this ending ever since I read it. And I'm sad that I couldn't have figured this one out on my own, but I definitely couldn't have figured this one out on my own. I never would have thought to do that. And when you get all the way back, your door, 427, is closed. However, this door, which has never been opened before, is open. And you are now leaving. Hey, it's a red door. More office. 754. Escape pod bay. Escape pod bay? I want to be on an escape pod. Just like 3PO and R2-D2. Keep going. Keep going up the steps. Why can't I take the elevator? Or can I take the elevator? There's no flippin' button. They're really gonna make me climb this many floors for no reason. It could have just put me in front of the escape pods to begin with. Why do I even have to climb stairs? It's getting very dark. So is this floor 759? I don't understand what's happening here. Ah, escape pod launch bay. Escape. What the? What the what? What? Oh God! Oh my God, that's creepy. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Oh my God, it does just go forever. Okay. I give, uncle. Ugh.